Last but not least.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for being patient. We appreciate you. I know you have better things you could be doing here on an evening like this, but we've got Mount St. Mary's guard, Carmelo Pacheco. Thanks for coming on, man. How you been?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure.
Well, I'm curious. I coached at Fork Union, so I know you played for Coach Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Best Coach Bob story or your story from your time at Fuma.
Honestly, it was like our first day of basketball practice. Because when you're at Fuma, you have like the 1 week where you just got to train, and we were running suicides, and I think I came like almost last, and he like looked at me, he yelled at me, he was like, "If that's the fastest you can run, then you'll never be a college basketball player." So, yeah, that one.
Love it.
Any good Coach Lynn stories so far?
Coach Lynn's a pretty funny guy, so usually, you can always get a laugh out of him whenever.
I'm curious. Obviously, anyone who knows small college basketball, the SAC is a phenomenal league. You scored over 12 points a game as a freshman at UVA Wise, shot almost 48% from the field and almost 44% from outside. How good of a league is that people are sleeping on? And how do you think your play will obviously translate to the Division I level?
Yeah, so honestly, the SAC is a pretty fast up and down league. It's a lot of athletes in the SAC, so my transition, it wasn't that bad, coming up here, Mount St. Mary's, but yeah, like I said, the SAC, you play real fast. It's usually pretty good competition, top to bottom. So, kind of how X was saying about his high school conference, it was never really a night off. You always had to compete.
Matt, you got something, or you want me to? I know we got tons of questions, so.
Why don't you go ahead there, Dave?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. How would you describe your game for some of the Mount St. Mary's fans who haven't seen you play yet?
I'm a knockdown shooter. I think that comes first. But then, after my shooting, I'm a very vocal guy on the court. Usually off the court, I'm pretty quiet, stay to myself. But, when I get on that court and the adrenaline's, flowing, I'm a pretty vocal guy. And then, honestly, I got a high IQ. So just getting my teammates involved, that's pretty much it.
For you coming over, I guess, is there something that they sold you on as a part of that recruiting process that made you want to come to Mount St. Mary's? Like, what was the pitch or the part of the pitch that most resonated with you?
Honestly, it was the culture piece. Coach Lane kind of envisioned what he wanted, culture-wise. And, I kind of told him, like, I wanted somewhere where it was going to be fun playing basketball. I wanted to be around good guys and, honestly wanted to be around people who were going to support me and, all had the same goal in mind. So that kind of sold me. And then when I got here, I was kind of like, yeah, like this is what I was looking for.
I like hearing that. And if memory serves me correct, you had a visit that you canceled after visiting Mount, if I'm not mistaken. So talk about that, the official visit and just kind of setting foot on campus.
Yeah. So I had honestly came to Mount a few years ago when I was playing AAU. There was some AAU tournament up here. So I was kind of familiar with Mount, but, when I got here on campus, kind of got some memories from playing AAU a couple of years ago. I had a pretty good game and so, that was nice looking back on, but, just like exploring the campus, hanging out with the guys. It was kind of everything I wanted, plus Coach Lynn's vision of his culture. So, it was the right spot for me.
David already mentioned it. You were 6 of 138 from 3 last year. That's almost 44%. That makes you a certified professional shooter at this point in time. I'm always curious when I talk to shooters like yourself, where do you aim when you shoot? Is it front rim, back rim, just kind of anywhere? Like, I don't know. Some guys don't really aim. I'm just always curious.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really aim. I've been asked that question, a whole lot since I'm a shooter, but yeah, I don't really aim. I just kind of look at the basket and, all the reps that you get in practice or, a workout with a coach. It's kind of all just muscle memory. So, I mean, when you're a shooter, you kind of got that confidence that you're going to knock it down.
Good call.
You know, I saw your brother at the elite camp, and I know he got an offer from Mount. You know, I'm not sure if he committed or not, but how cool would it be to, you know, lace him up with your brother at the college level potentially?
I mean, yeah, it honestly be pretty cool, you know, lacing it up with him, you know, playing D1 basketball. So, I mean, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I really love to play with him.
We talked about your shooting, but we've also talked a lot tonight about the defensive, side of the ball here too. What are you going to bring on the defensive end for the team this year?
Honestly, you know, with my IQ being so high, I know how to, you know, guard different kinds of players using different kinds of angles. I'm pretty physical for 2 guard, 2-3 guard. So, you know, I can switch on the bigger guys, you know, sometimes. And then honestly, just my voice is probably going to be the biggest part. Me, X, I mean, we're pretty vocal. So, you know, just using our voice to kind of help everything run.
That's great. You need that.
Curious, you know, because I consider myself pretty superstitious and didn't have much success last year, so I might have to totally change my routine. What kind of routines do you have pregame, and how superstitious are you?
Honestly, I'm pretty superstitious. Like, you know, if I have a good game in a certain pair of socks, I gotta wear those socks. I wear the arm sleeve now, so I mean, I actually have 2 of them. So whichever one I have a good game in is whichever one I'm gonna stick with throughout the season.
I like that. That's good, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and if it is, switch it. So that's always a good way to go about it. Just coming in this year, like, is there sort of one guy, one of the returning players that helped you kind of get acclimated or learn the program or any expectations like that? I don't know. There's always like somebody that you sort of immediately click with on the team. So I guess who was that for you?
It was X, you know, like he said, he's my roommate. So, you know, we're always talking basketball. He's always, you know, giving me advice on different kinds of things, you know, because he's older. So, I mean, just leaning on X, you know, X is kind of, well, not kind of, he basically is our leader. So, you know, just listening to X and, you know, just kind of watching what X does because, you know, he carries himself well on and off the court. So.
You said you were pretty clean, but now's your time to get him back. Like, how is he as a roommate? Is he doing his own dishes and all that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, X is super clean. You know, he doesn't tolerate any of that.
I like it.
He's super clean.
That's a real leader. I love that for both you guys.
So obviously on road trips, you guys, you know, bunk up. You got, you know, a roommate. Is there anybody you've gotten a scouting report that just snores or is like, hey, really great player, but probably not the guy you want a room with?
I wouldn't say snores, but I know AK, he's a freshman. He likes to talk really loud on the phone. So, you know, yeah, he just likes to talk loud on the phone.
You can't be having that from a freshman. Somebody, one of the vets here's got you got to put him in order there a little bit. Just for you to not only shoot the ball at a high level, you're also somebody that really protects the ball at a high level too. You had a 54-16 assist to turnover ratio. Is that, you know, something you just naturally do, or is that something you put a lot of emphasis on, is just sort of taking care of the ball?
I think I just naturally do it. You know, ever since I was younger, my dad kind of taught me and my brother just to play the game the right way, you know, make the easy play, don't try to force too much. And, you know, playing at Fort Union, Coach Bob really helped me a lot with that, you know, just move the ball, like the ball come back to you eventually. Like, you don't need to stick with the ball or try to, you know, make a contested play or, you know, a hero play. So just moving the ball.
Gotcha.
Is there anyone in particular, you know, who's helped acclimate you to the team, program, or town, whether player or coach?
Yeah, you know, honestly, all of the older guys, I usually go out with a couple of them to eat or, you know what, just explore different stuff. We're a pretty tight-knit group, so, you know, we're always hanging out, doing all kinds of random stuff off the court.
What's the favorite spot to eat? You guys have a one go-to you want to plug here? Maybe it's an opportunity for them to get a little NIL going with you guys too.
I know a lot of us, we go to Quickway in Frederick.
Okay.
That's always the go-to spot for us, Quickway.
Nice. Yeah, Quickway, if you're listening, this is your time. Get in with the Mount program here.
Buy stock now. Obviously, being from Virginia, I'm sure, George Mason, some other games are, ones you have circled on your calendar. What games, non-conference wise, are you looking forward to? Obviously, one day at a time, like Coach Lynn said, and don't look too far ahead. But, as far as showing yourself, on a bigger stage, or, that you have some friends and family planning to come to.
Honestly, the Maryland game, Georgetown, George Mason, probably all three of those. And then, like everybody wants to go to Miami right now. So, I mean, just honestly playing against, those real high major teams. So it'll be a good experience.
We've talked about a whole bunch of your teammates here tonight, and you've been listening in even before you came on here. Is there anybody that we haven't talked about here that you just want to give a little love to or mention, or even a couple guys? It's up to you, but just something that we haven't talked about that you think is going to be an integral member of the team this year.
Yeah, I'll shout out Trey Wilson. He's a freshman for us. He never takes a play off. He's always playing hard in practice. He's a real scrappy kid. So, Trey's coming along really well.
When I was kind of taking your guys' whole roster and going through, there's a lot of physical defender, scrappy player, gets rebounds, hustles. So I think for anybody that likes watching, a physical brand of basketball, I think that's he's going to fit in great, and that's going to be fun for people to watch.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, obviously everyone wants to play in March Madness at some point. As somebody who's has a chance, I mean, it's a league that really, is a one bid. Man, talk about just hoping you get hot in the postseason and what it would be like to play in March Madness. Like, do you guys ever just talk about that of like, man, what if, and just, you never know what happens.
I mean, yeah, we honestly talk about it all the time because we know that we got a special group here. And, like I said, we're so tight knit, and it's just like, man, like we're having all these conversations. But, I think when we really start to play, we'll show the fans and we'll show, people who follow us, like what kind of team we are. And, if we could really put it together, that'd be something.
Very cool. We talked to a couple of your teammates now already. We mentioned the black jerseys. I don't know. They look pretty cool to me. I would be excited about that. How do you feel about those?
Yeah, I like the black uniforms. I had black at my old school. So, I like wearing black.
Cool.
Who's got the best drip on the team as far as on the court or off the court?
Honestly, I'm gonna probably have to say Terrell. We got a couple dudes, who could really dress. Terrell, Orlandis, Javon, but out of those three, I probably have to say Terrell.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean that's a good well dressed group of guys there. So you guys are off to a good start. Just for the program, obviously you guys preseason projections aren't as high as I think we all here on this call think you guys can finish this year. Is that, I don't know, guys have a chip on their shoulder about that? Like, is that something that you guys pay attention to and want to go out and prove wrong, or is it just something you kind of totally tune out?
Yeah, no, I mean, the day after the rankings came out, one of our teammates, Mo Dredd, he actually came into practice and he's like yelling out the number. And he's like, yeah, like we're about to prove everybody wrong. It's just motivation to us. No pressure on us. Let's just go out there, do what we do, play the way we play, and, they'll see for themselves.
Good advice.
What are you most looking forward to about your first home game at Knott?
I mean, I'm just looking forward to it because it'll be my first, Division I game. And, every kid wants to play Division I, and I'm just, blessed to be here.
Is that something that you have a chip about too? Like, I've seen enough of your game now prepping for this that I saw like, hey, this is a guy that's going to hang perfectly well in the MAC this year. This is a Division I basketball player. Do you feel overlooked? Is that something where you're looking to kind of, prove people wrong for missing out on you the first go round?
I mean, yeah, I definitely have a chip on my shoulder. I've kind of had that chip since high school, not really getting the offers that I wanted. Mm-hmm. And then again, had that same chip in prep school. So it's kind of something that I still play with. And, it's always about proving people wrong.
If any of the people listening to this, whether it's a business, somebody who, wants to provide NIL opportunities, what kind of stuff are you interested in? What are your hobbies outside of basketball? And, any social media handles that they should connect with you on?
Yeah, I'm a big video game guy. So, anything, whether it's, controllers or, headsets or, even a video game. And yeah, my Instagram is Melo Pacheco 1. So, I mean, give it a follow. But yeah, video games is pretty much what I do off the court.
What's the game of choice?
It's NCAA right now.
Okay. Can anybody on the team hang with you, or you?
No, I'm the best. They all know it.
There you go. Very cool. Melo, thank you for doing this, man. We really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to a big year from you, and keep proving those doubters wrong.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Man, best of luck this season. Hey, hopefully you keep wearing that same pair of socks because that would mean you are shooting the ball at a high level.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right. Good luck this season, and we'll look forward to having you back on here and checking in throughout the course of the year.
Thank you, guys.